May I greet you all who are listening to these words with the love of the Great Spirit and those liberated souls who stand at my side. In my time of communicating through this instrument, I have always been empowered to work towards uplifting human consciousness. This has been my modus operandi from the first moment that I connected with this instrument until now. Because only through the upliftment of human consciousness can anything change for the better in a permanent way. History will show that there have been many, many upheavals upon the earth, many conflicts, many wars, resulting in the premature passing from your world to mine of countless millions of souls. I'm sure that you are only too familiar with the fact that this continues to play out in your world. And at my time of speaking with you, this again is in evidence with various conflicts resulting in extreme suffering. And once more, the transitions of many thousands of individuals into my world. If we look at the broader picture, you may also notice that, like chess pieces upon a board, activities are underway to move into position the means to escalate the current conflicts into a wider conflict, engulfing Europe and beyond into the wider world. This may or may not occur. Certainly, if any interventions that we can make from this side of life are successful, it will not. But I think it is wise to point out to you that those who are the perpetrators of the current conflicts have much more planned in terms of the destruction of the Western society and beyond, resulting in a complete change in the order of life on your earth. This will, of course, necessitate, in their eyes, the death and destruction of many civilizations, many facets of society, and of course, human life. You may wonder who would want such a scenario to unfold. Of course, you would be right in thinking that those who are the perpetrators of such would be either insane, psychopathic, deluded, or perhaps inhuman. And you would be right on all counts. I have often spoken of the need to address the evil in your midst. And part of this is raising human consciousness to a level of greater perception and insight. Something which, as I speak, is the possession of only a relative few in number, not by design, I might add, but by circumstance. And what is needed, what is being called for, is an expansion of this broader perception and discernment. And this can only come about when that which has been for so long hidden in plain sight by the perpetrators of evil in your midst is revealed, so that not only the broader populace can see it, but also then reflect on their own behavior towards it, resulting in a revolution, a spiritual revolution, a revolution of awareness and understanding that will no longer tolerate the actions of a relative few to impose their agenda upon the many. But this leads me into the subject of my talk to you, which concerns what I refer to as the delusion of separation that resides within many aspects of being, functioning through the human condition. I have to distinguish firstly between that which is delusional and that which is an illusion. For there is a subtle yet distinct difference. An illusion is often considered to be objective, outside of the individual, and yet is perceived as such. An illusion can be very, very real. Just because it is an illusion doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And one has to make this point clear. Perhaps, as an example, one could suggest that a rainbow is an illusion, and yet it's very real. A mirage could be considered as an illusion, an optical illusion, and yet a very real phenomenon in that many can perceive it. When speaking of delusions, one has to refer to one's beliefs, which can be delusional, misguided, false, and yet very, very compelling and very, very real to the one who holds such views. Upon looking at the majority of humanity, I have to say that many, many individuals are deluded. Self-delusion exists on an enormous scale, partly due to the degree of falsity that is presented as fact through the many institutions, science, education, medicine, history, all of these facets, all of these avenues of information, of learning, are based on falsity or ignorance, and yet are believed, even to the point where individuals would argue to their last breath that what they consider factual and true is absolutely so. And even when it's pointed out from one who holds a different perception, who offers alternative facts, the level of belief is so strong that they cannot surrender it, and their delusion is perpetuated. If you look at the recent war that has begun between factions or sides in Israel and Palestine, you will see the delusion of difference between race, culture, religion, belief, ideology. Nowhere is it ever mentioned that all of these individuals and the race and the country to which they consider they belong are in fact part of one whole, the race of humanity. Differences in color, creed, race, religion, belief only exist within the mind of their souls, their true nature of infinite consciousness is the same. There is only oneness. The distinction comes when that oneness localizes itself through human form. And so begins the delusion of self, of a separate self, distinct from the eternal being that one is. And I have to warn you that this delusion, this delusional activity, which is so powerful and compelling, often continues into my world after death, as occurred in your world. Those who hold particular views, for example, religious viewpoints, perpetuate this when they come into my world, even to the point of manifesting their gods and their saviors and their religious institutions, their cathedrals, their churches, their synagogues, their holy places. These can all be found in the astral realms. It offers them a comfort because their beliefs are verified. Yes, they say, I was right to be a Catholic or a Muslim or a Hindu or an atheist. I was right in my beliefs because here I am in the afterlife and it's exactly as I knew it would be. Well, of course it is, because their mind, which continues when death occurs in an unbroken sequence, continues to be deluded and manifest as it did upon your world, the reality that it experiences. It is only when this is transcended that the delusion falls away and the oneness of being, which has always been there, untarnished, untouched, unharmed, is revealed. So, if man is to raise his consciousness collectively and individually, if you who are listening to my words now are to raise your consciousness, you have to let go of the delusion. You have to see the delusion within yourself. You have to recognize it in all of its enormity, in all of its subtleness, in all of its insidious, often unconscious formulations, behavior. To do this may be painful for you, may be difficult, and in some ways very hard to accomplish. And yet in others it is simple. It requires self-inquiry into the nature of this unto which you refer yourself as being, I. What is this I, as distinct from the greater self? If you find yourself being drawn into certain paths or being pulled in one direction or another concerning gender, beliefs, age, color, race, and other material distinctions unto which you have become accustomed since birth, then you can be sure that there will be some level or degree of delusion, self-delusion. Can you let all of this go? Can you free yourself from the prison into which you have placed yourself? Can you move beyond ego? Can you move beyond self-importance, positionality, rank? Can you let go of your possessions? Can you empty yourself of the fullness of your beliefs? Can you become as nothing? And in doing so, gain everything? Let go of sides. Let go of enemies. Let go of positionality. Let go of distinctions. Understand that just as the sun reflects and shines through every mirror, every piece of glass, reflects upon the surface of every ocean, every river, every pond, every puddle, every droplet, that infinite consciousness and awareness, which is your true nature, is reflected within everyone and everything. Know that, and you will know yourself. Know yourself, and you will know the infinite. I have often said, be that which you would become. Sometimes I modify this and I say, be that which you are. The meaning is the same. Let go of that which you are not. Put aside the delusion and see the reality of that which you are, and be that now. Live it. Regardless of what is manifesting at the moment in the apparent outer world, do not let it disturb your inner peace and happiness and resolve. Lift up your heart and your mind, but see clearly. And if you can do this, even one of you, then you will be affecting change within the collective consciousness of humanity. And this has to outwork itself in the functionings of the material world. I leave you to think upon this with much love and light to you all.